Ladies and gentlemen, live on this Thursday, 17th of June, Judy. Woo! You too, Paul.
All right.
I know, isn't it great?
Woo!
We are 1 week, well, we actually 10 days away from, or 13. Actually, it's almost 2 weeks. 2 weeks away from halfway through the year. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very fortunate from our North Scottsdale office, the woman with a wonderful sense of humor, Judy Zimet. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've never been introduced by my sense of humor. This is great.
Exactly. Well, the reason I say that is because some of you look back at my Instagram and mostly Instagram, I think it was, when I would speak at the office, she would do little snippets and change them and make them funny and put them out there and tag me. It was hilarious. I loved it.
Right.
I wish
little silly hats on you and you were great with it.
Little silly things coming out of my mouth. Mm-hmm. All right, Judy. Well, tell them a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all that good stuff, please.
Okay. So 20 years in real estate, probably a little more. I owned a construction consulting firm, and my partner's an architect, and we would go into government and private commercial projects, figure out what went wrong. So a bar with a deck that collapsed, or a school that was being built with huge cost overruns. We would go in there and we would diagnose the issue. Was it the architect? Was it the builder? Was it the state? Combination of all of them. And then we would make our report, and sometimes it would involve attorneys, and the problem would be solved because each person would know what they were responsible for. They'd fix their problem, and then we'd go away. So I did that for a while. During that time, I was accused, such a harsh word. The state of Montana sent me a letter saying, you're practicing law without a license because you're representing a school district at that time, and you're saying that we did something wrong. Okay, here's the true story. The true story is I found out that the state of Montana was taking money they shouldn't have been taking during their permitting process. I notified the state that they were doing that. They weren't that thrilled about it, so they sent me the letter. Very short investigation. I was clear. I was not practicing law without a license. But as time went on, in 2008 came around, and between that time, I did a lot of real estate investing, flips, a lot of stuff on my own and for some high-powered executives. 2008 came. There was really no reason to buy and sell homes at that time. It was pretty rough. So I said, what do I do with the next few years until real estate is good again? Decided I should go to law school because I really can be a lot more effective as a real estate expert if I have my law degree. And the Montana, you're practicing law without a license was kind of the first time that idea came into my head. And so the time was right. Went to law school down in Arizona, sat for the bar, and I practiced law. I did a little bit of personal injury. I did and still do estate planning work, and then, of course, real estate work. I am only a transactional real estate and estate planning attorney, but I work with litigators. So we all collaborate with each other. Did that for a while, and then my clients were saying, all right, you solved my problem. I want you to buy and sell my house again. Well, I've had real estate licenses in Colorado and Wyoming because of the investing I did there. Bought and sold a lot of homes. So I got my real estate license here, and now I am primarily a real estate agent or associate broker, but really an agent. And I use my abilities as an attorney and my experience to enhance the experience for my buyers and sellers. And I'm saying it weirdly that way because I really do. There's a fine line that's a very defined line. Mm-hmm. And so that when I do, for example, if I draft a deed for my client to put their home into their trust, it is under my law firm. It is very strictly something I do under my law firm, but I do it for my real estate clients. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. Well, I learned that. I did not know that about you today. So this is good. See that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Montana, for accusing you of something that you eventually became.
I know.
Talk about an affirmation by a whole state accused you of.
you never know when something like that happens. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then it turns out to be really what pushed you forward into something better. Being
That
all
is
philosophical here.
no, it's great. No, it's true though. It's true. I love it. I've only been to Montana
Yeah.
once, and I went there for a
Oh,
week for what used to be called a dude ranch. Now they're called guest ranches, and it's one of the most fun weeks I've ever had. I was like 26, I think. They call it Big Sky
where was
Country
it?
for a reason. Bozeman? Was it outside of
Okay.
Bozeman? I think it was outside
Yeah,
of Bozeman.
probably.
And we drove cattle from low to high. I remember doing that, and that was one of our couple days. Like I was in the saddle for like 9 hours one day. Yeah, that
Oh,
was
wow.
yeah, but it was fun. I had a horse at that time, and it was a blast. I was selling real estate too, and
Yeah.
it was fun. So, all right, good. Well, I didn't know that about you. That's awesome. So when it comes to, I mean, let's put it this way: you know how to write a contract. You definitely know how to do that.
I I do. I write a lot of contracts of all different kinds, really. And then I also, as part of my law practice, because I own a law firm, I review contracts for people. And sometimes they are, East Coasters are used to having an attorney on board when they buy and
Right.
sell homes. So I get calls from other agents and also other attorneys asking me to review a contract. So I do that on the side.
You do that as well. Well, that's awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially in Arizona, where you have everybody in the country moving to that North Scottsdale area. Before we started today, I said to Judy, I feel like it's the new Orange County where you are. Don't you a little bit, kind of?
Yeah. Very much so.
Where are
But
people coming from?
most of the recent stats, most of the people moving or buying homes here are people who already live here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the second would be California and then Washington.
California.
And
Hmm.
even,
Yeah.
what about those poor people, since you're an attorney, what about those poor people from Canada that own properties there that can't even come down yet, right? Their country won't even let them out for a little while longer, correct?
Well, I know somebody who's getting their second vaccination any day now, and then she'll be coming out. So you can get here. It's
You can get,
harder. But you can get here.
okay, good.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
opening up.
Good. All right, good. Yeah, because you do have a lot of Canadians from that own property there. So I've noticed that when I travel, there's a lot of people from Canada.
Yeah, there are. It's always changing. I mean, real estate, there's always something new and exciting and changing, and we just change along with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and we were saying earlier that, and I love your line there. It's like Orange County, except for the prices, but they're heading in. I mean, it's still a way better deal as far as what you get.
Way better.
Way like off the charts different. But I
Yeah.
mean, since you've been doing this for a while there, I mean, this appreciation in the last few years is probably unmatched. I don't think we've ever had appreciation this much, especially in the last year.
Appreciation, right? Exactly. I was going to say in the last 12 months has been unmatched, and it's for totally different reasons. I mean, this is a new situation. I don't I don't see this changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
It's tough for people though, and it's tough to price properties. I mean, I looked at a house that sold 6 months ago for 250 a square foot, and now it's getting 400.
Mm.
And
And was
those are
that crazy?
appraisals. It's insane, but supply and demand, and people are willing to pay. And you come from California where you had a shack for 1.5,
Mm.
you're willing to pay 1.5 for a 2100 square foot home on an eighth of an acre.
With a pool.
Right, with a play pool though.
Exactly right. No, I love it. I love it too. So when you say,
Yeah.
okay, so I want to dig a little deeper here. So when you say the appreciation for different reasons, tell us a little about that. Just give me your opinion as to why that's going on right now.
It's several factors. I think what helps us stay secure, what helps our buyers feel that I know we're paying more than we paid before, but it's for good reason, is because this isn't an appreciation for one reason, and that reason can go away tomorrow and everything falls apart, right? This is
Right.
an appreciation because people are moving here. That's the one we hear all the time. People are, due to COVID primarily, people are working at home, so they need different home configurations. Um, Mortgage rates are low. There are several different reasons that are industries are moving here. There are several different reasons why people are coming. And you take one of those reasons away, people are still coming here. And so that's why it makes it a secure buy. It's still a secure buy, even though you're paying more than you used to or than you did 6 months ago.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And then Arizona, and people are, I mean, people are leaving for political reasons. People are leaving for cost of living, taxes. I mean, like you said, interest rates. There's all kinds of reasons. And like you said, if you take away one, Texas is a big spot. Arizona and Texas go back and forth in number one, but pretty much Texas is held number one just by a little, and then Arizona's in second place. I think Nevada's number six, and I don't see it. Even the Fed now with inflation is saying everything is set till the end. They're not even talking about changing rates to 2023, which is pretty incredible for our business, isn't it?
That is. And we have to be careful not to look at the country as a whole or even the region as a whole, because we're specialized here. Arizona is unlike areas around it. And I think that's true for any state you're in. You really have to look at your state, your county, your neighborhood. You can't start quoting national statistics. They don't apply here.
They really don't. That's a good point. And especially in Arizona, when the unemployment rate in the country was about 16%, you guys weren't even half that because you guys didn't. Your economy was affected totally different than most of the country, and I think that's a big selling point to a lot of people today as well.
Right. Well, up where I am in North Scottsdale, Carefree, Cave Creek, we have a lot of retired people, so
right,
it doesn't affect them.
Right. Yeah. A lot of retired people playing golf on those beautiful golf courses. You guys create your own humidity by watering. I love golf in Scottsdale. What a beautiful spot. I mean, it's just a beautiful spot. I mean, the desert, like I'm in Nevada, and the desert is beautiful here, and we have the strip, obviously. But the desert is just a little different in Scottsdale. Those gigantic cactuses, you have those rolling hills. Everything is a little different there as far as plant life and the landscape, right? It's pretty cool.
And the flowers, the wildlife. Had a rattlesnake in my backyard yesterday. That's new and different. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, good. All right. So tell us a little bit about how, has this been a good year for you? I know last year was a pretty good year. This has been a pretty good year. How are things going for you?
It's been a really good year. I've changed my own model. I'm not doing as much law. I'm doing more real estate.
Good.
And that's been great for me. I'm a good attorney, but I'm a really good agent because I'm an attorney. So, well, not only because I'm an attorney, but so I've changed my own personal model to do more real estate than law, and that's been great. That's really been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I love the creative side of it, and it's been profitable, although I never go after the money, but it has been.
Yeah, well, it would seem. Plus, there's less jokes about real estate or agents than there are attorneys. I mean, there's a lot of jokes about attorneys.
Many of them well deserved. However, I know great attorneys.
Just like agents, I know. I'm just kidding. Well, one of my best friends back at home is an attorney, and I used to say to him all the time, "Could you imagine?" Now, everything you just said to me was, when people are moving, most of the time it's exciting. Every now and then it's a divorce or a death. But with if I was just doing bankruptcies, somebody stabbed me. Can you imagine just being a bankruptcy attorney, or I only do divorce and family battles over children attorney? I mean, they're needed, but that just to me doesn't seem like it would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's very true. So yeah. I think doing real estate, I don't know, it's just making people happy on both sides. If you're doing it well, both sides are happy. Everybody's happy.
That's exactly my point. It's more of a joyous type. You mentioned, spiritual, karmic. It's more of a fun contribution, I think. But then again, that's why there's different, strokes for different folks. Everybody, that's what makes it go around. But to me, and I can tell the type of person you are, having that positivity and helping people get from where. I mean, it's an important job, isn't it? It's a really important job. Helping people sell the most important asset, and yeah.
Yeah, and you're still practicing law. I mean, in the state of Arizona, it's in our Constitution that real estate agents are given the power to practice this little area of law. So it's still law, it's still advocacy. I mean, that is our number one job, is to be an agent for our clients and to advocate for our clients, number one. So you're still doing that, but it's within a happy little cloud.
Yes, it is a happy little cloud called North Scottsdale. Yes, and that fiduciary responsibility, probably nobody understands that as well as you being an attorney. So I'm going to ask you this question, and don't be afraid to bash a little. Does it surprise you how some real estate agents take that definition of fiduciary responsibility, or lack of, I should say?
Yeah, or they don't take that.
Right.
Does not surprise me. I see it a lot. I see the reason for it. There are a lot of changes that need to be made in order for agents to understand that their number one duty, not just ethically, not just, professionally, but contractually, their number one duty is to their client, not to their bank account, not to their broker. It's to their client. And
Right.
that's not stressed very much in real estate schools. It's really not stressed at all, in my experience. It's not stressed all that much out in the real estate world. And that's one of the changes that needs to happen. I stress it.
I agree 100%. And if you take I call it the golden rule of real estate. It's really what it is. You're right. You put your client's needs in front of your own. And if you do that with energy, enthusiasm, and commitment in this business, it's really, I wouldn't say easy, but it's definitely a way to put yourself in front of and become very successful in this business.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are a lot of distractions maybe in real estate, ways that you can shine through marketing pizzazz, but the thing that sticks with someone and that causes them to say, you need to use my agent, or I'm going to use you again and forever, is when you are in their corner and you're advocating for them and things on the other side don't go as well as they would hope, and you pull them out of it. I mean, you are fighting for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with all these, I've heard of a couple crazy stories of agents in your office as far as over asking. Do you have a crazy current market story that you'd like to share?
Of over asking?
Well, I mean,
prices or?
Yeah. I know that there's one property in your office that sold for $250,000 over asking, which is crazy in today's market if you think about it.
I'm going to knock on some wood. I have a closing coming up that's a record breaker, that when you look at the per square foot in this neighborhood, it's way, way over and above. I mean, I'm still holding my breath because the clients who are buying it have never seen the house.
Wow.
And they're going to see it for the first time Saturday and close on Monday. So this is the kind of situation we're in. People are paying above ask, way above anything that's ever sold before, even 6 months ago, and they're not even seeing the house. And they've already given up the earnest. They've already said, hey, you can have the earnest money. We'll never ask for it back no matter what.
That's incredible. And obviously, see, let's face it, when they're coming from California, Chicago, the Bay Area, San Diego, Orange County, these prices are so incredible for them. That's why I think they're willing to pay over. And I was even at the gym on Saturday talking to a young guy. He said to me, it's so unfair. These California buyers come in, they have so much more money because they just sold their house for way more. How can we compete with them? I'm like, I know.
You feel bad for them, and they really can't. I mean, it's tough to compete. And it's even rentals are going. It's hard to find a rental. It's hard to find a rental at a reasonable price. I lived in Jackson Hole, Wyoming for a while. Ooh. And this kind of reminds me of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I remember one of the grocery stores had to build an apartment complex because their employees couldn't find an affordable place to live.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. Are you a skier?
I was.
Good.
It hurts now when I fall.
It hurts when I fall now. It's funny you say that because I started saying that when I hit about 40. I'm like, I don't like falling. I haven't fallen in a long time. I'm knock on wood myself. But it does hurt when you fall now.
Yeah, or when I do fall, the fact that I didn't injure anything, I'm all proud of myself.
That's good.
Oh my God, I'm as old as I am and I didn't break anything. That was great.
I'm as old as I am. You don't look old. I wouldn't worry about it. All right. Let's get to my favorite question.
Uh-oh.
Drum roll. Okay, knowing what you know now, especially with your diverse background and everything, going back to that had to be an incredible job going in and dissecting projects and finding the issue. Wow. It's the first time I've heard of a job like that. That's incredible.
It was an amazing job. Go ahead.
Yeah. Then somebody doesn't like you. We don't like those people, right? Somebody, but anyway, as a real estate agent, as an attorney, you're already used to that. All right.
Yes.
So if you could give them the three most important advice to be successful or take it to the next level in this business, what would it be?
Well, number one, we already talked about, which is remember your number one duty is to your client. And that
Love
will
that
serve
one.
you well. And that is anytime you have a question of what should I do, that helps clarify what you should do. Well, what is the best thing for my client? That's number one. Number two, this is because I'm an attorney, is you need to know every single document that you ask your clients to read or sign. And you need to have read it and you need to understand it. And if you forget it, you need to go back and read it again. And that includes title reports, inspection reports, every AAR document. You need to be very familiar with every single thing. Not too long ago, I had a title report come out, and the CC&Rs and all the easements, all the recordings are now usually linked to the title report, right? And so we give it to our client. We say, here's your title report. And typically agents just, that's all they do. But what agents need to do is read the title report, especially Schedule B, click on the links to make sure that they're linked correctly. And in this case, recently, the links are broken. So if I hadn't alerted to the fact that the links were broken, then we would not have seen the CC&Rs. Those CC&Rs said that my client could not use this property as a rental for less than 6 months. He wanted to use it for 3 months. We got out of the contract.
Wow.
So the lesson is that you really have to read and access every single document involved in the transaction and understand it.
Pretend you're buying it yourself, right? Yeah.
But, yeah. And then my number three, I think, would just be to listen. Yeah, I see agents, here I am just talking and talking on and on, but agents need to listen more than they talk with their clients.
Well, to your defense, I am interviewing you, so you're supposed to be talking.
Well, yeah. Thank you for the defense, counsel.
No problem, counsel. Sidebar. No kidding. Yes, you know what? I would never want to be an attorney because of my son is in his second year right now at UConn, and the amount of schoolwork involved to become an attorney, right, is incredible. That's why real estate is awesome. It's awesome and it's terrible for the same thing. It's awesome because it's really easy to get into. You pass a test. It's terrible because it's really easy to get into. All you have to do is pass a test.
Yeah, so, the real estate school is the reason that you're taking those classes is they teach you to pass the test. When you come out of that testing room, you really don't know what you're doing. No offense to anyone out there. But you need a good brokerage that has a lot of training opportunities. And Berkshire Hathaway does a great job at that at our office. I mean, we offer so many training opportunities because you don't know what you don't know, but I assure you, you don't know enough when you come out of real estate school.
It's funny you say that because we have a school here in Nevada, and every time I speak to the school, that's the exact line I use. I go, you know what happens when you pass a test? It means you know how to pass a test. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? It's really true. When you, especially with real, there's so many intricacies, and you can really get in trouble easy in real estate if you're not monitored, especially your first few years, right?
Right. If you don't know about multiple counteroffer forms alone, if you don't know what forms you're supposed to use, if you don't know it exists.
Right. Yep.
That's why we have great brokers to get you out of trouble, but we don't want to get that far.
Yeah, I hear things in my coaching. I go, I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Like my client made 3 simultaneous offers on 3 different properties. Well, what happens if they're all accepted?
Right. Did you use the right form?
Oh, I hate when that happens. Right. All right, Judy, any final words you want to leave these wonderful people? Those were 3 great ones. I'm going to use that, by the way, for a Saturday email for the whole company.
Oh, great. I don't have any final words other than thank you. And yeah.
My pleasure.
I have nothing more profound than I've already said.
And you have said some profound things, so we'll give you a pass on that.
Thank you.
And you obviously you came extremely highly recommended by your wonderful manager, Shirley Small, and your sales manager, Cassie Mueller. Yes. So, as you know, what's that?
They're good people.
Yeah, they are. And you talked about the training. That's why I had to throw their names in there. They do a great job. You do a great job. Thank you, Judy, for taking your time out today. I really appreciate it.
My
Keep
pleasure.
rocking. All right. I'll look to see you
Bye.
soon. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Thank you.